All right, so Notre Dame moves to the national championship. I think James Franklin is a good football coach, but he got out-coached. His 12th straight loss to a top-5 team just at Penn State. And in big games, the little things matter. There was a million excuses for Notre Dame. First of all, they had 2 balls intercepted. They were both taken away on penalties. One of them, the worst calls I've ever seen in a huge game. They called a pass interference on a wildly underthrown ball. And again, both picks that I'm showing you here got called back. Their quarterback got hurt in the first half. People thought he was concussed. Their running backs playing at about 50, 60%. They've got injuries all over their offensive line. They fell behind. Yet, they were amazing on third down. They had very few penalties. They had very specific plans on their final drive. And in every big third down or every big down defensively, they were completely buttoned up. Marcus Freeman, to me, feels like you're watching the college version of Sean McVay. The energy, the presence, the intensity, the way his team believes in him. He's like the classic player coach. Like you almost wonder if they could use him at like safety. He's got that physical presence, and the players love him. And this team lost to Northern Illinois at home. And you got to remember about Marcus Freeman. I'll get to this in a bit. But this guy, his first home game when he got the job when he was 35, he lost to Marshall. What they have done at Notre Dame is a direct correlation and reflection on Marcus Freeman. This guy is a rock star. They're all banged up. And I thought it was fascinating at the end of the game. James Franklin's a good coach, but he can't learn from his mistakes. They make too many in big games. I mean, they had the 8 guys on the field in that final Notre Dame field goal kick. Why are you throwing the ball with 33 seconds left in that game? What are you doing? I mean, you don't trust your quarterback. He didn't complete a ball to the receivers all night. You ran before that, so you kind of wanted to get to overtime. When I watched Notre Dame's final drive, I saw, 7 plays, 26 seconds, using timeout, using Riley Leonard. There was an absolute plan on how to use this big. I like this kid way more than everybody else, apparently. I see a little bit of Josh Allen, maybe just a little bit, but they had a specific plan. It looked like Penn State decided, hey, let's go to overtime. Wait, what? We gained 12 yards? Hey, let's go for it. That's not a plan. That's just making crap up as you go. So I thought, and again, I'm not anti-James Franklin, but what you saw was a specific, buttoned-up, smart team. Injuries O-line, injuries running back. We thought the quarterback was concussed. 2 picks taken away, 1 in an egregious call. If Notre Dame would have lost, you'd literally, as a Notre Dame fan, be like, man, we couldn't get a break. We're falling apart here physically. And yet they won. So what I saw in this game was 2 young quarterbacks with talent, both a little nervous, 2 strong defenses, 2 huge brands, 2 limited passing attacks down the field, especially for Penn State, but 1 head coach that everybody in America, with 1 5-star recruit, 1 is playing in the national championship. You go to Georgia, Bama, these teams the last couple of years, Ohio State, Notre Dame, it's different. The rosters are different. Texas, Notre Dame, the rosters are different. How is Notre Dame here? They're here because of the coach. And why did Penn State lose? It's a game of decisions, and there was 1 play. Go watch the final drives. Penn State should not have thrown that ball. They had not completed a pass to receivers. You could tell they really didn't trust their quarterback a lot. That's a long way to go against an excellent secondary and a very well-coached team. That was making it up as you go. And I want to talk about Marcus Freeman here because, first of all, Notre Dame is doing it the right way. When he took over for Brian Kelly, I was like, he's a great recruiter, but he's 35. He's a defensive coach. I'm not sure if this is going to work. He went 9-4, 10-3, 14-1, and now he is 5-1 in bowl games. But what's more redeeming about it, in my opinion, he went 0-3 to start, and he lost his first game at home at Notre Dame to Marshall. Right. Think about that. And this year they lost to Northern Illinois. And this is a great life lesson for young people and young coaches and young athletes. I've said this about Michael Jordan. I mean, Michael Jordan struggled with his owner, his GM, Dennis Rodman, his first couple of coaches, the Pistons, the Celtics. Life is hard. You got to believe in yourself. And if you believe in yourself, young people around you will believe in you. We talk about this all the time about players developing. What you have watched with Marcus Freeman is a young coach developing. He probably wasn't quite ready to be Notre Dame's coach the first 2 months he got the job. 35-year-old coach. That's not just a job. Notre Dame's got academic umbrellas. It's a really tough job. I mean, Brian Kelly was successful into Notre Dame. And Brian Kelly stumbled a lot in his first several years, and he'd been a successful coach previously. This is Marcus Freeman's first job. Your first head coaching job is Notre Dame? You know how many guys have failed at Notre Dame that have previous winning experience? And I don't think he probably was quite ready in the first few weeks. But I'm watching a rock star here. I see Sean McVay. That's exactly what I see. Chest out, big energy, talking to the refs, motivating players. Notre Dame had every reason to lose last night. And I'm telling you, that pass interference call that took away the interception in the end zone was awful. You can't call PI if a ball is wildly overthrown or wildly underthrown. You can't call that. Just to give you more context, it is harder to get into Notre Dame. And then once you're in Notre Dame, the workload for student athletes is as hard as maybe any place not called Stanford. I mean, it's hard. They can't take anybody. Think about this. Texas is going to play for the right to go to the national championship tonight. They have 11 five-star athletes. Ohio State's playing Texas. They have 14. Okay, Georgia just got beat by Notre Dame. They had 14 five-star recruits. Notre Dame's got one. It is virtually unheard of to be playing for a national championship with one elite five-star recruit. And this program also, in this world of the transfer portal and NIL, players don't transfer out of Notre Dame. They go in, they buy in, they stay in. That was a coaching masterpiece last night on a game where you got banged up players and bad calls and you're playing a good team. And I mean, I watched that game. I'm not so sure Penn State doesn't have more good players. I mean, I watched it last night. I'm like, halfway through that game, I'm like, I think I picked the wrong team. I think Penn State's got better players. I mean, that Carter kid, you can't block him. That tight end, I mean, that kid's insane. They got him throwing passes. Coaching, rock star, Marcus Freeman. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.